Do you need a diploma to succeed in life? Well, this is a complicated question, and in this episode of the English Hour, we will look at the relationship between a diploma and success from a historical perspective. We will look at the past data, and we'll look at the present state of affairs, and we'll compare the pros and cons of formal and informal education. So, as I said, this is a complicated question, and a lot of parents, a lot of students think that a college diploma is needed for success in life. And this is definitely true for certain professions, because if you'd like to be a lawyer, if you'd like to be a doctor, you need to go through a very comprehensive education process through formal education. But with the changes in technology and with the changes in our perception of education, certain fields are changing, and you might not necessarily need a diploma to succeed in life. So in this regard, we'll look at the past and the present, and we'll look at the pros and cons of success in life with or without a diploma. So let's first look at the past and the past data. Well, I guess in the past, a college diploma was more important. It was more essential for many reasons, because in the past, people did not have access to the information that we have today. And the internet, especially the spread of the internet, made education a lot more accessible. Right now, you can basically read thousands of books or attend the online classes from all over the world. But in the past, this was just a dream and nothing more. And similarly, in the past, since communication was a lot more limited, you were constrained in your networking, in your connections. Maybe you could connect with people in your local area, but it was very difficult to connect with people from different cities, from different countries, or from around the world. But things are a lot more different now, because right now you can connect with people at the other end of the world. You can even send messages to the International Space Station. So there are tremendous changes regarding knowledge, connections, and job security compared to the past right now. And when we look at the present, as I said, a college diploma seems less important. Of course, as I said in the beginning, it's important in certain fields where there is a very comprehensive education process, where there is a lot of hands-on learning and so on. But in certain fields, the need for a formal diploma is, I think, decreasing. And this is mostly due to the abundance and ease in access to information, the impact of social networks. And right now, if you'd like to do a certain job, you don't necessarily have to have a diploma if you can prove your expertise through projects and through your portfolio. For example, if you'd like to work as a designer, you don't necessarily have to go to design school. For example, if you are good at working with design applications, design programs, if you have an extensive portfolio of real-life projects, then a company might employ you, or you can work as a freelance designer. And sometimes the same can be seen in the field of software engineering. There are a lot of programmers who have not been through college. There are a lot of programmers who have not studied computer science, but still are very much in demand. And this is, I think, not a generalization, in the sense that these individuals earned it with their work, with their expertise, with their commitment. Not everyone without a degree can succeed, but of course there are cases where people without a diploma can even exceed the expectations set by the society. So let's now look at the pros and cons. Well, if you'd like to succeed without a diploma, without a formal education, that means you need a lot of self-motivation, and your learning will be mostly self-directed, because if you go through a formal schooling process, there is a set curriculum and you follow those courses, And everything is basically predetermined. You take the classes, you take the exams, you follow a certain path. But if you're not going through formal schooling, that means you will have to direct your learning, you will have to create your own curriculum, and that means you will need a lot of self-motivation to get through all those materials. And another setback for informal education might be lack of socialization, because if you attend a school, you meet new friends, you meet new people, and if you're not, even if you're not very sociable, you can still make friends because the environment forces you to form connections. At least you say hi to certain people, at least you form certain relationships. But when you're learning on your own, that socialization part might not be really strong. And additionally, when you work through a program at a college, you have networking opportunities, and then as a student of a prestigious university, you can use the brand of that university to open doors for yourself in your career, in your personal and professional life. For example, if you study at one of the prestigious universities in your country, you can use that brand to improve your odds, to improve your chances in professional life. But if you go through the self-directed informal route, you will have to maybe work more to prove yourself to a certain industry or to a certain employer. So there are definitely pros and cons of formal and informal schooling. And of course, success is possible without school in certain cases, but I can't say that this is a general rule. Of course, it's possible for certain people, but it's not possible for everyone because it requires a lot of hard work, it requires a lot of self-motivation, and it requires a lot of self-directed learning and experience. So based on these arguments, success without a diploma might or might not be a thing for you. And I think you should take everything that I've said with a grain of salt, because things really change based on your circumstances, based on your goals, and based on your background. So it's important to consider the various factors that play into this argument. But I think I'm not really sure if people can do various jobs without a diploma at a professional level, but I think people can learn a lot about certain jobs by studying on their own. So, for example, as a linguist, I'm interested in computer science, in programming, and this doesn't mean that I have to work as a programmer, but without working as a programmer, I can learn programming as a hobby. I can practice programming as a hobby. I can increase my knowledge of the field. So I think it's possible to learn about certain professions, and it's possible to build expertise, and it's possible to build a portfolio. So it almost becomes like a second job if you wish to, but you don't necessarily have to work in that field. But if one day you decide to change careers, if one day you decide to try something new, then this preparation makes it much easier. So I think in this day and age, it's important for people to develop various skills that either complement their jobs or skills that produce or generate new job opportunities. Well, this is basically my take on the issue of success with or without a diploma, and I'll be happy to hear your comments. Make sure that you subscribe to the English Hour podcast, and make sure that you leave your comments and your thoughts so we can all learn from each other. Well, that's it for now, and see you in the next episode.